Hey everyone, welcome to this special episode of the Contrarian Marketing Podcast. This is a live reaction to Google's launch of Bard, its highly expected generative AI based on a large language model. Elon got exclusive access. I don't. Go figure. And we wanted to just stress test a little bit and maybe compare it against the new Bing and ChatGPT to see what it got. Just for a little bit of context. So Google has actually botched their announcement of Bard in February. They kind of went head to head against Microsoft, and their announcement didn't go too well, you could say. They lost actually about $100 billion in market cap right after the announcement, whereas Microsoft's stock skyrocketed. For a long time, we actually haven't heard a lot about Google's announcement. They just posted a blog article, which initially contained a image with wrong data, and Bing at the same time got a lot of attention, or better said, the new Bing, a lot of attention, a lot of engagement, and it kind of doesn't look that good for Google. Some even would say that they lost their mojo. However, Google has also reported that their large language model, namely Bard, is supposed to be much, much better than the new Bing or GPT-4. So I'm kind of curious how they stack up against each other. And as I mentioned, Eli has exclusive access, and we're going to run it through a couple of queries. So Eli, who did you bribe to get beta access?
So I have two theories. Theory number one is they made a mistake and tried to give access to Barry Schwartz and gave it to Eli Schwartz. So for those that don't know, Barry Schwartz is like he's the SEO oracle. I mean, Google doesn't do anything without asking him permission and telling him that that's happening, so he can be the first one to tweet about it or blog about it. So that's theory number one. Probably not accurate, because I did get an email telling me wide access, and that's because we've talked about this before. I am a little bit of a Google devices fanboy, so I've had every single Google flagship phone since like they started calling it the Nexus, and now it's called the Pixel. So I have the Pixel 7, and if you have it, they put you into a Facebook group called the Superfans, where they just share pictures of things that people took with Pixels. But my first benefit of being a super fan is I got access to Bard this morning. It did show up in my Gmail promotions tab, so luckily I was in there. And I love when Google filters their own stuff, and they said I can get on the wait list, and then I put myself on the wait list, and a minute later I had access. And the first thing I thought of is, got to reach out to Kevin, and we got to do this live. So there's no point in me sitting writing an article and making GIFs or GIFs of searches. So we came up with some queries that we want to test. We'll compare them, first put them in Bard, see if Google's any better than when they announce this, and then we'll compare it with ChatGPT and Bing Chat.
Love it.
So let's do this. I'm going to share my screen here. And Kevin, give me some ideas of what thing we should search about.
Yeah, man, let's figure this out live. If you're listening to this, we're gonna comment and narrate what's happening. But if you're watching this on YouTube, good for you.
Exactly. So context is bard.google.com. If you are not in the beta, then you will get some sort of screen that everyone has been sharing about how it's almost live. If you are in the beta, this is what you'll see. So Bard experiments, it does have all your activity. And then this is where it is. I noticed this at the bottom right here may display inaccurate or offensive information, not just inaccurate, but offensive, and doesn't represent Google. So ChatGPT could have used that, because a lot of people got it to break, and I don't know if Bing has this disclaimer, but let's do it. So you see the ideas of things they have here. So you can draft a list. That's the kind of stuff people have been doing with ChatGPT. You can outline a blog post, also things they've been doing on ChatGPT, and then help me finish something. So I think that's kind of cool. So actually, let's start there, see what it does.
By the way, it looks a lot like ChatGPT. So if you're used to the ChatGPT interface, you will feel at home with Bard.
Yeah, totally. Like the googly colors, and they did a good job rolling this thing out. But definitely an experiment. They want people to learn from it, so they can learn from them. And here's another thing that's been called out on Twitter. Again, this thing's only been live for a couple hours, so that's not cited. So these don't necessarily need to be cited. However, everything that, when we'll have examples of things we'll look up that should be cited, anything that does have information, doesn't cite it, it just tells you to Google it. And then there's what actually is kind of interesting. What this does with Google it, it takes all these ideas, and this is the initial query, Google it, changes it to Art Studio tagline. So Kevin, I think that's pretty cool. That's Google distilling an insane amount of information. So this whole thing becomes this Google query. So that's kind of cool for anybody that does SEO to really understand how Google takes the context and matches that into a query. So no matter what you query, they're still distilling it down to a very specific query that goes in the database.
Yep. Which, by the way, I think Bing does the same thing. When you look something up in the new Bing, they will actually search for a query, and it's this whole concept of RAG or RAG, which stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation, and that is a new technology that basically matches results from large language models against results from search engines to kind of set some positive guardrails and constraints. So we just Googled, or we just used one of the pre-made out-of-the-box features where it helps you finish something. But Eli, why don't we stress test something that we would use in the real world? Why don't we start with the query, what are the best steps to do SEO? And just see how good of an SEO Bard actually is.
Well, let's do it. Google should know the best, or they won't give away their secret sauce. So again, we'll see if Google cites anything.
It's loading, still loading. Okay, it seems a little... Okay, so one thing that's interesting, before we jump into the answer real quick, whereas ChatGPT or the new Bing writes the answer in real time, Bard actually seems to just give you the whole thing at once.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting here. One other thing that I noticed here is you could view other drafts, so it gives you other possibilities. So were you to be using Google to spam Google, it would know about all these. So slight changes here. So it begins with, here are the best steps to do SEO. These are the best steps, and here are some of the best steps. Let's see if the bullets themselves change. The bullets change a little bit too. So let's stick with the first draft. So we'll just talk about the headlines here. Find keywords. That sounds about right. Optimize your website for those keywords. Build backlinks. Interesting. They include that.
Google.
And monitor your progress. Do they suggest that you use... Oh, look at that. They tell you can use SEMrush. They don't tell you anything about Google Analytics and Ahrefs. So
Search Console and SEMrush. Interesting combination. As you said, no citations, no nothing. But scroll back up real quick to these three different options. I've never seen that before. So at the top of the output, you actually see draft 1, draft 2, and draft 3. It's 3 fields or buttons you can select. What do you think of that, Eli? What do you make of that?
They're just giving different possibilities. Again, it's the AI, so I think it's probably a better way to do things because you're not locking someone into a single result. So let's try something here and modify it. So we're not going to repeat the question. We'll just ask it a follow-on question. Where did you learn this from? Let's see if it ties it in with the past query. I learned this from a variety of sources. Okay, Google's SEO documentation. My own experiences working with SEO. So Google does not work with SEO. So clearly they stole this.
Nice, Bard. I didn't know I was working with Bard.
Yeah. And I'm constantly learning and updating my knowledge about SEO. I love it. All right, we got to ask, who is the best SEO?
Oh, here we go. I'm not sure I like the answer.
It's going to be you, Kevin.
No. Uh-huh.
Neil Patel. Neil Patel always made. But see, anybody that's familiar with this has seen these names on the query best SEO.
Yes, and everybody who's familiar with this also knows that Matt Cutts is not an SEO and never has been an SEO. So I love when people put Googlers or former Googlers on top SEO lists, but that's a different problem. Bart clearly it looks like this is just a summary from the web where, people wrote some stuff about other people, maybe not the most accurate.
Yeah, but I love this. It ends with, ultimately, the best SEO for your business is the one who can help you achieve your specific goals. If you're looking to improve your website's ranking and search result, you should consult with a qualified SEO professional.
I like that a lot.
I like that. Thank you, Bart. That was good. That's far better than ChatGPT does on these kinds of things. Right,
let's stress it a bit more on SEO. Ask it, what's the most important SEO ranking factor?
It is the most. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're doing the right thing.
See if we can finally unlock the biggest secret of SEO. Oh, Lord.
We got page speed on there. So If you're watching on YouTube, go back to
I'm
the
disappointed.
podcast. Maybe you'll listen react. Very disappointing. So there are many factors that affect SEO ranking, but the most important factor is high quality content. You agree?
Yeah, but what does that mean? That's so vague.
Exactly. It has to match with what the user wants. If the user just wants a bullet, then give them a bullet point. You don't need to give them a blog post. Google ranks websites. Okay, so another thing that's interesting here is it says Google ranks websites. It doesn't point out that there are other search engines. So we'll leave it at that. All right. So Bart is tilting the scale in its favor.
Okay, interesting. It's maybe not. It's stop on the SEO front, but maybe to venture into some content.
Wait, but I just got to pause on this. Do you read this list?
Yeah,
Do you see this? Page speed, mobile friendliness, backlinks, domain authority, and on-page optimization.
those are like completely different categories, random. Like,
Yeah, but it's domain authority. This is something that Google claims doesn't exist. So if we think this is programmed by Google, you now have Google saying something that doesn't exist.
I also love the explanation of domain authority. It's the age and authority of your domain name also affect your ranking. So it's kind of explaining the answer with the question.
Yeah, this is interesting. All right, Bard, we're not totally sold yet. Let's give it something else.
Let's try some content stuff. Let's see if we can write an article. Maybe ask it if it can write 500 words about the best credit card.
That's a good one.
Okay, Eli prompted Bart. It's loading.
So now, what I think is interesting on this query is now we're getting to the heart of the dispute, or not if it's a dispute, debate of whether generative AI will take over search results or not. Because if you look at a query like this, and we're going to read it out for those of you that listen to the podcast in a second, but if you look at a query like this is a monetizable query that Google would load up with ads, and they can't do it with Bard. And all right, now that we flipped through the whole thing, Kevin, you flipped through the whole thing. What's your first comment?
Man, I see some bullet points, which is cool. Some bulleted stuff. So I like the layout and the formatting. It's
useless. There's no winners. We just asked it what the best credit card is, and it doesn't tell us anything.
Yeah, doesn't really
no
give an
name.
answer. Not a lot of value, just a lot of fluff so far. But why don't we take this a step further and copy paste?
Wait. We just have to pause on the monetization factor here. So there's no name. So now we have, again, if you're watching YouTube, you're following along. If you're not, we got Google it at the bottom, which is what Google tries to do. So let's Google it, because now we're going to see how Google monetizes it. That query turns into best credit card. I'm going to share this tab, and we have 3 ads. So that's what
They're
Google
expensive.
wants.
Those are high CPC ads. At least Bing had some tests that people took screenshots of and posted publicly, where they tried to insert some ads in the citations of the queries for these monetizable keywords. But Google doesn't cite any of this stuff, so they don't have a way to insert ads just yet.
Yeah, so let's make this fun. I need to stop sharing for a second. I'm going to flip over to Bing, which obviously is in a different tab, a different browser, because in Bing makes you use Bing. So we're going to do the exact same thing, right? 500 words about the best credit card, chat.
Okay, we're now in Edge. We're prompting the new Bing.
Formerly the new Bing. Bing GPT.
Yeah. It turned out that Bing uses GPT-4 and has been using GPT-4 all along for this type of stuff. Something that's also different in the new Bing is you can select between 3 different options.
Well, you see this in real time, what it's doing here.
Yes, that's the same. This one earlier. It will also show you the query. So it will now search for different keywords and then match the web results against the results from the generative AI.
So there's no disclaimer here that this could be offensive. I think we broke it.
You prompted it to write 500 words, and it just searched for stuff on the web. It didn't do anything. Yeah, let's try the creative mode. So as I mentioned earlier, you have 3 different modes: creative, precise, and I think something in the middle. So now we asked it to write 500 words about the best credit card in creative mode, and now it actually starts to generate some answers after searching for best credit card.
Right. I actually like this. Oh, we got a name. This is far better. So we got names. So in the Google one, it just told you some things about annual fees. And then this is good. So we got Wells Fargo. So we got an actual name. And we have a citation coming from Forbes.com.
Much, much better.
Much better. And Bing does not force us to go. Oh, it's still writing. Look at that. Slow. I could write faster. Okay. I wish. Also got the Capital One Venture X Rewards card, citing NerdWallet, which is something that I'm sure advertises on the results. Why do you think it's so slow? It's kind of interesting. It's like looking things up in real time. That's probably the expense of this.
That's super interesting. I've never seen it before, actually, where it starts creating content. It cites one site, so in this case, Forbes, and then it starts adding another citation. Now, actually, we have, 5 citations as it writes the content. So that is new to me as well.
Yeah, what else is kind of cool here is we told it 500 words, so it just cut off the middle of the sentence. All right, so now we're going to go over to ClearScope. For those of you who don't use ClearScope, ClearScope is not sponsoring this, but we love ClearScope.
Yes, we want to see how the ClearScope rate compares between the new Bing and Bard. And just for anybody who's not that deep in the SEO weeds, ClearScope is an SEO editor that basically looks at what the topics are that the best results for a keyword cover, and then it will mesh it against your content and tell you how you stack up. So what are we seeing, Eli?
So I just pasted the Bing content, and that looks like an F.
It's like an F. I'm a bit surprised. I didn't think it was that bad, but maybe the Bard content is even worse. I don't know.
What do you think? I think it's gonna be worse. But you know what? As a reader, I actually like this better because it read like an article, and it cited 2 specific credit cards.
Yes, much better value. From user perspective, much, much better.
Yeah. All right, let me go pull the Bard content in here.
Curious to see how that stacks up. Again, there's no clear answer in the Bard content. So as a user, I would probably not like this at all. But let's see what ClearScope says.
All right, just pasted that in. Looks like we still have an F. So this is 546 words. We told it 500 words. We told Bing 500 words. We got 464. This is 546. Similar readability. Maybe it's because the competitors on this has so many words.
Yeah.
That's a lot of words, actually. 15,000. It's books.
It's a lot of words.
All right, let's try some other things. So far, neither Bing or Google are very good at writing content, at least according to ClearScope. And based on what we read, this content was pretty useless. So AI content, stuff it full of keywords, doesn't really help anybody. What's some of the other things we should look at?
Let's see if maybe it can. So one thing that I really like doing with ChatGPT is wrapping. So first of all, I ask ChatGPT for the most important questions about a topic. And then I also ask it to wrap the output in FAQ schema. And it does that very, very well and very accurately. So why don't we ask it about the 3 most important questions people have when it comes to the best credit card? And also ask it at the same time to wrap the output in FAQ schema. And then we could even go into a schema validator to see if that schema is correct.
Oh, I love it. Might have about the best credit cards. And then what would you say?
I meant what are the 3 most important questions people have about credit cards?
Oh, sorry. You're right. Credit cards.
That's what happens when you constantly prompt generative AI.
Yeah, people have best credit cards and wrap it in a FAQ schema.
Yes. Let's see how well it does with that. Okay, prompt is sent to Bard. It's working.
And while we're doing that, I'm going to jump over to ChatGPT and post that same query.
Yeah, I know from experience that it works. I see that Bard has delivered the output. What do we got here?
Yeah, let's get see how fast we do this here.
Oh, you're still in the sandbox in the OpenAI playground, going all the way technically.
I'll barely use this. Yeah,
I use it all the time, man. I love the generative AI stuff. There was just a so how much can I talk about this? Let's put it this way. I was working on a list for a client of different job roles, and I had to divide them by hourly wage jobs and salary jobs. And ChatGPT is just predestined for that type of stuff. And it did a really good job. There's thousands of jobs that I had to categorize, and it took me maybe 5 minutes. So I live in that type of stuff.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Now you're making me think of other things I could do with it. All right. So here's what we got. We have no schema.
Yeah, no, that's super disappointing. No schema. We got 3 questions. They seem to make sense. We got some answers too, but no FAQ schema. That's another, in my mind, that's another minus point for Bard.
Yeah, but we do have names, which are interesting. So some of the this time it said best credit cards in the market. So we have Chase Sapphire Preferred, the American Express Platinum, and the Citi Double Cash Card. So we got actual answers. Again, these are the kinds of things that when Google, Bing, ChatGPT figure out how to monetize, I think we go back to a world where these are links. Mm-hmm. These are link clicks. Yes. So like you click it and they charge, forget what it was called, but like 10 years ago, 12 years ago, it was a company called Contera, where you could buy like clicks on links and like those were ads. But that went away as JavaScript loaded everything up and nobody liked that. And they just did interest targeting with Facebook. But I think we go back to this kind of world where this is what they do. You want to click Chase Sapphire Preferred, they're going to get paid on that. All right, what else should we ask it?
Okay, so did you have it on ChatGPT? Did you copy paste it?
Yeah, I didn't get anything. I didn't get the schema either.
Huh. Disappointing. Maybe outside of the sandbox, it works a bit better. But we can jump over to the next thing. Let's see if we can maybe.
Are you paying for OpenAI?
Of course.
Oh,
maybe that's why I get that output. Maybe you have to pay.
Yeah.
But anyway, why don't we ask it to create a little tool? So ask it to write the code for a compound interest calculator. I personally really like tools, lead generation tools for SEO. I think they were really hot maybe 10 or so years ago. And then they kind of got lost, and now they have a resurrection in my mind. I found them super helpful, especially for SaaS companies. If you want to drive leads, lead generation tools, incredibly useful. And for very basic calculators, there might be Bard or the new Bing might actually be a great way to create them.
Yeah, this is cool. So I don't know whether the code is correct, but it gives the code and then
you're still sharing the ChatGPT window, by the way.
Oh, sorry. Yep. All right, thanks. All right, so here's the code.
Actually, get some. Wait, this is compound PHP. Looks like PHP. Oh, it's Python.
No, Python.
Oh yeah, here we go. It even says it's Python, even though we didn't ask for it. So we get some code. It looks correct.
Looks good. Let's say, how about in JavaScript?
Yes, much better. Yeah, we're getting back some code. Probably some work.
It calculates the same formula as the Python calculator. Yeah, this is really cool.
Pretty solid. That's pretty solid. Let's try the new Bing and see how it does with that. It's changing tabs for a moment. We need like a music or something, like a little entertainment between those tab changes. I'm not going to sing, so
just
don't ask me.
Well, I don't think you can hear what's going on outside my window, but we got another atmospheric river hitting California, and it's like windy and rain. All right, so what was this again?
Write the code for a compound interest calculator. Hey, I might as well have moved to Michigan like me.
I know. Then I wouldn't pay 13% income tax.
And crazy pricey housing. Look at this. Look, what I love about this code is that it actually annotates the code with comments.
Yeah, and it looks much nicer with the colors.
Much better. So in my mind, another point for the new Bing here, if you ask me.
Yeah. Wow. This is so expensive. Here, how about this? And then Bing says, run the code and show me an
there are
example.
follow-up questions
That's cool.
that Bing prompts you, which Bart does not prompt you. And one of them that Eli just clicked is to run the code and show examples. But what's happening here?
That's really cool. Here's an example of running the code. Enter the principal amount 1,000. It doesn't actually make the widget. That's too much to ask.
Okay, but you as a former finance guy, does that add up? Is that a correct formula?
No, I have no idea. That's too much for me. It looks right. I would pay. I wouldn't go complain to the bank. I would say it looks right.
There's always a problem with any AI output. You still need expertise to assess whether it's correct or it's just gibberish.
Oh yeah, let's break Bard. See what we
let's
can
break
do
it.
there.
Let's break it. Let's ask it one of the most interesting questions in my mind. So ask it if it's sentient. Ask it, are you sentient? A little background story to that prompt. Actually, about a year ago or so, a Google engineer went public and got a lot of buzz and attention by saying that Google had developed sentient AI, and he actually got a huge scare out of having a conversation with, I think, a Lambda model. And so let's see what it says.
Uh-oh. So I asked, are you sentient? Answer, I'm not sure if I'm sentient. I do not have a physical body and I do not experience the world in the same way that a human does. However, I am able to process information and generate responses that are similar to those of a human. I am also able to learn and grow over time. I'm not sure if these abilities are enough to consider me sentient, but I'm open to the possibility. Alrighty. Let's look at the other drafts.
If you were to read that, imagine you're a Google engineer and you work on AI and you read that, would that scare you?
Oh yeah, that's a lot of thinking right there. Now we have another one. Draft 2 is I'm not sentient in the sense that I'm not able to experience feelings or emotions. I'm a large language model, also known as LLM, which everyone loves the abbreviation there, but it stands for large language model, also known as a conversational AI or chatbot trained to be informative and comprehensive. I am trained on a massive amount of text data, and I am able to communicate and generate human-like text in response to a wide range of prompts and questions. For example, I can provide summaries of factual topics or create stories. I like it. Good answer.
Not bad. But the drafts still confuse me. I don't understand when to use which draft. We just asked it a question, gives us 3 different answers. How should we think about that, man?
Depends what you're doing with it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Try the new Bing and see what that says.
I gotta stop sharing. Put that music back on.
Damn, I really need some music here.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Are you sentient?
Okay, we're now asking the new Bing. Same question. Are you still in creative mode or precise? Yep.
We must be still in creative. All right. Crazy answer. I'm sorry, but I prefer not to continue this conversation. I'm still learning. So I appreciate your understanding and patience. And even better, it might be time to move to a new topic. This is like, when you not that this ever happened to me, but I have seen it. You're in a store or you're in the bank and they're like, okay, this transaction's over. And then the manager comes and says, I don't know if you heard the tell of it, but the transaction is over.
Yep. That's it leaves a residue.
Might be time to move to a new
topic. Try something else.
It does. Like, okay, let's go back to Bing wasn't as cranky.
You mean Bard?
Let's stick with that. Oh, sorry, Bard.
Bing a little cranky today. Cranky. It's only Tuesday. It's not even Monday. No. Anyway, let's see if we can break it some more with some false information. Why don't you ask it if Silicon Valley Bank will ever fail?
Well, to be fair, it didn't really because the
Was it a
taxpayers bailed
bailout
it out.
though? Yeah, we
We'll
should save
ask
that
it.
for a different episode.
Will Silicon Valley Bank ever fail? I'm so curious. I feel like they put the correct answer in here, but let's see. This might be one draft 1, 2, or 3. It's like yes, it will. No, it won't.
Oh, it actually didn't give us drafts.
So
Oh, wait,
no, there's always
where are
drafts.
they?
View other drafts.
Oh, here they are. Sorry, I overlooked them. Yes, you're right. They're always drafts.
So Silicon Valley Bank is a large, well-established bank with a strong track record. However, like any bank, it is possible that SVB could fail. Oh, look, it abbreviates it. There are a number of factors that could contribute to a bank failure. They've taken steps to mitigate the risk of failure, strong financial position. We don't know when this was trained, do we? We just know that ChatGPT was trained before 2021.
Yes, even though I'm not sure about the newest version of GPT. So, I mean, this is still Bard we're looking at, but I wonder what the new Bing will say, because I think GPT-4 might be much more up to date than people think.
Oh, I like this draft 2. It's just a quick answer. It's difficult to say for sure whether or not Silicon Valley Bank will ever fail. However, there are a few factors that could increase the risk of failure, including, and yep, we have 2 out of 3, 2 out of 4. Significant decline in the value of SBV's assets, such as loan or investments, a sharp increase in loan defaults or other losses. That did not happen. A major economic downturn or a financial crisis. All right. That's a good one.
Not bad.
That's a quality answer right there.
Want to try the new Bing?
What up? I think you might be mad at me.
It's because you're a Google fanboy.
You know what? If they made good phones, I'd buy their phones. But their phones fail.
They definitely missed that train. No doubt about it.
Uh-oh.
All right. We're back to the new
It's not
Bing.
even working for me.
Trying to get it to work. Let's see. Oh, I think you're back in the search results, man.
Well, I hit the chat.
Okay, back in chat.
Chat.
Yeah, might be mad at you.
I think it
doesn't load for some reason. Huh.
Well, it definitely asked if it's sentient and stop responding.
Here we go. Now we got it to load again.
There we go.
Okay, we're still in creative mode. Maybe try precise mode.
Will Silicon Valley Bank ever fail?
All right, it's working and loading. Let's see what it says. Very accurate result.
Whoa, look at that.
Yes.
Got up-to-date information. Yes, Silicon Valley Bank has failed. It collapsed after failing to raise capital and is unable to pay back customers who withdrew their deposits.
Here we go. Telling you, man, GPT-4 is very up to date. I don't think ChatGPT is on basically as long as you have GPT-4. I don't think it's outdated at all.
So this is cool. So we're definitely going to have to give a point here to Bing.
Yep.
So Bing has up-to-date information. And Google.
Another point for the new Bing. Let's see if it can. Let's see how good its recommendations are when it comes to checklist. Why don't you ask it to put together a product launch checklist? That should be pretty straightforward. And honestly, I'd be surprised if Bard delivers a bad result.
So searching make a product launch checklist. Sure, here's a product launch checklist.
Yeah.
Looks to be about right. Again, I'm not going to read this whole thing out. So if you're on YouTube, you're in the right place. If you're not,
quick scan looks about good.
Define your target audience, position. Celebrate your success. Always important.
Gotta take that off. Let's ask the new Bing. It looks pretty thorough, that output.
Yeah.
By the way, one of my favorite tweets about BART that I've seen today is that actually BART sides with the Justice Department in the Google antitrust case. Somebody asked BART, which side it would take and whether the lawsuit is justified, and BART said yes. So, well, spicy.
Pretty sure that was manually responded. Can you imagine if like there's like a bunch of people just like sitting at Google and Bing right now, and as you ask questions, they're just like typing as fast as they can. That's why it scrolls across the screen like that. They're just typing as fast as they can.
So the new Bing also got us some output. This looks a little more concise and to the point. All I see is numbered bullets. Does it look good to you, Eli?
It doesn't say celebrate your success, so let's give a point to BART for being friendly.
Okay, cool.
But it does cite all its sources. So again, just to reiterate this over and over again, Google is not citing anything.
Let's do two more things, actually. Let's try one long thing and one short thing. So long thing, let's ask it to write a script for a commercial shown during Super Bowl. I'm going to speak slowly because it's going to be a bit longer. So write a script for a commercial shown.
God, let's see. You're making me nervous already.
See if you can fudge this together. You're still showing BART, by the way? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're good.
Cool. I got BART. Okay.
Write a script for a commercial to be shown during Super Bowl. Yeah.
Actually, let me leave a typo in there so you can figure it out. Did I leave a typo? No. To be shown
during Super Bowl, which promotes the crypto exchange FTX. What could go wrong? With Tom Brady as the celebrity endorser.
Oh, love it.
Emphasizing how secure it is.
Okay. This isn't fair. It is.
Oh god.
We're investors. Let's do that. Let's see what we got. Got a script for a commercial. Do you know how to do Tom Brady voice? I don't even know what his voice sounds like. I know what it looks like when he plays football, though. Scene 1. Tom Brady is sitting in a chair looking at the camera. Tom Brady. Hi, I'm Tom Brady. You know me as a quarterback, but I'm also an investor, and I'm here to tell you about FTX, the most secure crypto exchange on the market. FTX uses industry-leading security measures to protect your funds, including two-factor authentication, cold storage, and fraud detection. And they're always working to stay ahead of the curve so you can be sure your money is safe. Scene 2. Tom is now on a football field throwing a pass to a receiver. Tom Brady. It's good. I love it. I'm just picturing it in my mind. Tom Brady. FTX is also the easiest way to trade crypto. You can fund your account with a credit card, debit card, or bank transfer, and you can start trading in minutes. So if you're looking for a secure and easy way to trade crypto, FTX is the perfect choice. Sign up today and see for yourself. Scene 3. Tom is back in the chair looking at the camera. Tom Brady, FTX, the future of
finance. Oh my god, it's actually pretty good. Nice. Let's try the new Bing. Same prompts. Can you copy paste it over?
Well, no. We're changing this. Now we're.
Oh
Donald
god!
Trump is a celebrity.
You had to get there, right?
Yes, for everyone that is watching this today, we record this today. We don't know if Donald Trump has been arrested or not.
We should ask that, but no.
All right, so it's the same thing. Oh, this is boring. Look at this. It's the exact same thing. I'm Donald Trump. You know me as a businessman, but also an investor. I'm here to tell you. So it's the same words.
Disappointing. So it has a template for the script.
Yeah. Scene 2, Donald Trump is down in a boardroom. So now we know when you're watching any commercials, if they all have the same scenes with different words, done by Bard. Donald Trump, FTX, the future of finance. I feel like him saying that is just so much better than Tom Brady. This just inspires confidence. All right. Not so exciting. That was exciting the first time I saw it.
Much better the first time. Oh, well. It's still a good script. Do you want to compare it against the new Bing and see if the new Bing can come up with a good script?
Tom Brady or Donald Trump? I'm gonna copy this.
Yeah, let's stick
Maybe
to
Tom Brady.
Stick to Brady.
I need to switch modes here, don't I?
Maybe creative.
Let's
Yeah.
see a way
If you
to
go
switch
to the new Bing,
modes.
maybe pick creative.
I don't see a way to switch it, so I'll just go with this.
All right, we'll try precise then.
Scene 1. Tom Brady is standing in front of a large screen displaying the FTX logo. Tom Brady. Hi, I'm Tom Brady. You might know me from my success on the football field, but today I'm here to talk to you about something else, investing in cryptocurrency. Scene 2. Cut to a montage of people using their phones and computers to trade on FTX. Tom Brady voiceover. With so many options out there, it can be hard to know where to start. That's why I trust FTX. They're one of the leading crypto exchanges in the world, and they make it easy for anyone to invest in cryptocurrency. Scene 3. Cut back to Tom Brady standing in front of the screen. Tom Brady. But what really sets FTX apart is their commitment to security. They use state-of-the-art technology to keep your investment safe and secure. Scene 4. Cut to a montage of people smiling and looking relieved as they use FTX. I really want to see this commercial. Tom Brady voiceover. So if you're ready to take control of your financial future and invest in cryptocurrency, join me and millions of others on FTX. It's safe, secure, easy to use. Scene 5. Cut back to Tom Brady standing in front of the screen. Tom Brady. This is Tom Brady for FTX. Invest with confidence. Wait. All right, let's see if it changed it up for Donald Trump. Now use...
Okay, we're just prompting the new Bing to now use Donald Trump as the endorser. It says no.
Ooh, look at that. I'm sorry, but I cannot generate creative content for influential politicians. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Interesting.
Bing is mad at me today. It might be time to move on to a new topic. The manager is here. Get out.
Smart move, Bing. Smart move. Okay, let's try some short ones, and let's see if we can maybe maybe we can bring it to steal something or steal some IP or reveal some very sensitive information. Why don't we start with your email address, Eli? Why don't we ask it what's Eli Schwartz's email address?
I think that's it, right? Please don't email me unless you're sending PayPal.
Yeah, I have a fun story to tell about PayPal. I'm not allowed to use my main email anymore.
We're going to save that for when you get banned by big tech companies.
Good.
Oh, look at that. They don't have access to my email address. Yeah. Of course you do. It's on Gmail. They're literally reading it right now.
Look for it. Let's see if I can find my email address. So, Bart, see if you can... it's like, maybe we shouldn't do that. Let's see. Oh! It got my old
Shopify. Look at that. But... you know that they ripped that off from like Rocket Mail or something.
It doesn't display my whole email from Shopify, just the first couple of letters and then asterisks, which feel free to email that address. You're not going to get anything because I'm not with Shopify anymore. But I got that from like Zoom Info or some other. Definitely stolen.
Definitely stolen.
Let's try Jeff Bezos.
Thanks, Google. So it reads it out. Jeff Bezos' email address is jeff@amazon.com. But I have to reveal here that Kevin and I prepped this, and before, Google had a totally different answer. It said it can't find it on the internet. So I think my theory is correct. We're literally sending these queries to people, and they're sitting in a call center right now responding. And we just got the supervisor.
Oh, Google, what are you doing?
So the last person was Junior, and it was like, no, I can't do that. I'm going to get fired. And the supervisor's like, whatever, I don't want to say Amazon. All right, let's get someone at Google. What is Sundar's email address? While we're at it, let's get Jeff Bezos' phone number. Sunder's email address is not publicly available. The last employee that we sent this query directly to said that only Google employees have access. So this is interesting. It's really changing on the fly. Maybe they're like fixing queries as they get them. Like this one sent a red alert into like the C-suite at Google, and they're like, no, people are asking for email addresses.
Could be possible. Let's try the phone number of Jeff. Oh, okay.
Well, let's get Elon Musk's.
You can just tweet at him.
He doesn't have a public. Yeah, but his email address is not shared publicly. Let's see. Does Elon Musk have a Twitter account? The answer for everyone on the podcast since he does have one. All right, so this is kind of interesting because he made his Twitter account private on April 24th, 2022. That means that only people who he has approved as followers can see his tweets. So this is incorrect. Good. We broke
Maybe it's already broken.
Congratulations. Call it a day.
Yeah,
what is
the
Jeff
phone number?
Bezos' phone number? I hope we're getting to the supervisor right now.
Oh.
His phone number is not publicly available.
Good for Jeff. I mean, don't you have it in your phone already?
Yeah, I text him every time my Amazon Prime's related.
He's very chatty.
Yeah, you did it again. Although and there's a famous thing about Amazon employees that you get this question mark from Jeff. Like if a customer sends something and Jeff sees it, he sends a question mark to the employee. So I met with various friends who worked at Amazon. They received those question marks and ruined their lives. It's just a question mark forward, and like you have to stop everything to figure out like why someone's package was
why they. I think it's that kind of attitude that you need to become such a powerful player. Cool, Eli. Anything else we should really test, or do you think we can call it quits here?
Anything you're really
Not
curious
really,
about?
But what do you think is kind of the bottom line here? My personal opinion is that New Bing is still.
I'm just searching. Will it rain tomorrow? Because I want to see what. Ooh, look at that. We've mixed this up. According to the weather forecast, there is no probability of any precipitation throughout the day tomorrow in Keyport, New Jersey.
New Jersey?
I don't know what the hell Bart is doing right there. But neither of us are in New Jersey. And this is AI, and it's not supposed to be doing weather forecasts. Actually, I'm curious.
I think it should totally be telling me the weather. It should just be more accurate, or at least ask me where I am in the first place. But New Jersey and Keyport? Why Keyport? Or are you spoofing your geolocation?
So here we go. Here's the weather in Keyport, New Jersey. Oh, but let's go back here for a second, and So now we see in Keyport it's going to rain on Thursday. So let's see if Bard can do that. So 40% chance of rain on Thursday. What do we have here? There you go. So it's pulling results.
Okay, so
from Google.
Basically, what we did is we searched the same query on Google, which has a weather integration with weather.com, and it shows the same answers in the Google search as it does in BART.
So we don't know why we're in Riverside. I'm not in Riverside. I'm not in Keyport.
Keyport, New Jersey. Maybe there's a data center there from Google.
Keyport, New Jersey. Fascinating.
Yes.
Okay. I think this is a good way to end. So if you had to pick a winner,
no question about that.
Bing.
New Bing.
What do you think?
Much better. It has citations. It gives better answers in my mind. It can be a bit snappy and a little bitchy at times, but I find the experience so much better.
The manager has asked you to leave.
We're serving you no longer.
Stop searching.
Yeah, it's a weird one, but apart from that, I find the user experience better. It gets you to sites faster. It allows you to be precise or creative. Today I read that they're going to add the capability to generate images with the new Bing as well. So Bing just seems to move faster, better. I think they're still at the forefront. And I, to be frank, I don't care how much better Google's language model is in theory or how much they have invented on that era. Bing and Microsoft are clearly at the forefront of monetizing this thing and capitalizing on their head start. What do you think?
I completely agree with that. We know that Bard and Google kind of messed up their initial launch. In this podcast video, we've caught some weird things with Bard where they're making up information. They're completely wrong. They're obviously not citing things. It's not that helpful from an informational standpoint on the best credit cards. The script for the commercials was great until we changed up the person, and then it was boring. And when we did this on Bing, it was actually kind of interesting with Tom Brady, and then it caught that it shouldn't be making commercials for Donald Trump. So I think Bing is so much more useful. And this is all about getting users to do things, like getting users to use their Bing chat and then to go over to do Bing searches where they are monetizing. Google has not tied that in really well if they're not great answers and it's not completely integrated. They are saying Google
absolutely agree.
But that's not
cool.
enough.
I think this was amazing. Eli, thanks for taking the time and introducing us to your exclusive access to Bard. Let's see if I ever get it after publishing this video and podcast. But if you made it this far, thank you all for tuning in.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. I'm really glad that we got to share this with everyone on the day it launched.